Like, let's start with the United game. I think that game could have been anything really. It could have been 3-0 to United. It could have been 2-1 to Fulham. Like both teams had good opportunities. I think United had very clear cut chances. Fulham had some nice transitions, but final ball was always lacking from Adam Traore or whoever had the ball on Fulham's end. But you guys are neutrals, right? But do you think, looking at the United squad and the additions that they've made, and also that performance against Fulham, do you think like European qualification is very much in their sights for this season, even though the manager said they are not ready?
Can I go first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so with Manchester United, yeah, um, well, let me talk about the game first. Like you said, the game could have gone either way. I know the XG suggests Man United dominated the game, and at the end of the day, you could say that they deserved to win because they had like the clear cut chances with Bruno in the first half and Garnacho at the end and all that. But in between those, in between the two boxes, Fulham had chances to like actually score against Man United, but Maguire or Martinez were making like some incredible last ditch tackles and everything. And the decision making from the Fulham attackers, Pereira, Smith Rowe, and Adama Traore, it wasn't good enough. So as a Man United, like if I was a Man United fan, yeah, I wouldn't, put so much stock into that performance or anything. And it's more about like getting your 3 points and moving forward and trying to build on it rather than thinking that that is like the foundation to how our season is going to be. Because I don't think it's going to be like that. And as for the entire team, I don't think the Manchester United midfield is good enough. I know there's a lot of like hype around Kobe Meno, and people talk about Bruno Fernandes as being on par with KDB, and obviously Casemiro, we don't really know what it is at the moment. With some people think it's still world class, some people think it's finished. So on paper, it looks like a very good midfield, but at the end of the day, they did finish eighth in the table last season, and so in my memory, I don't think they had any injury problems in the midfield. Everyone started most of the time. So in general, I don't. Well, we see what Zexi can do, but I don't see goals in that team like in comparison to the other teams, like the Tottenham, the Aston Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, to say that they will get into top four. But the Europa League places is a possibility, and again, the defense. We'll see what Mazwari and the Leeds can provide. But at the same time, they need to improve their defenses again. They considered about 80 goals in all competitions last season, and that is not good enough. And if you keep on, defending like that, you won't get Champions League football. They were able to sneak into the Europa League through the FA Cup last season. In my opinion, I feel Liverpool and Coventry should have even beat them on their way there, but they managed to get there. So they've just been riding that luck, and if they don't fix up and actually perform this season, then there's going to be back to square one because Ten Hag will possibly lose his job, and they might be hiring maybe Van Nistelrooy or Rooney next, and it will be back to you know the bad days for Manchester United.
Yeah, I think Van Nistelrooy is there for like that kind of situation that you just described, where Ten Hag is sacked mid-season, and he can step up to take over. I think Masrawi had a very good debut. Looked very solid. Some nice tackles here and there. Bruno Fernandez missed a lot of chances, but reward overall. What do you think about the United performance?
Be careful to to give my opinion on United because people will think I'm hate watching. But honestly speaking, I didn't see any difference to last season. The same way they snaked and fluked their way to victories, I saw exactly the same thing. On a normal day, Fulham had sense. They could have been like 3-0 up. That's, I don't know. Maybe I think they are going for Ugarte soon. So if they do get Ugarte, maybe yeah. But Casemiro, if you check the stats, I think Casemiro was like the third highest. He had like the third highest XG for the whole game week. A DM. That's how forward this guy. That's how forward thinking this guy was, and he left all the. I mean, he was trying to help the team, right? So, and I don't know if it's that. In fact, I don't know. Let's not even get into Mount. Mount was useless. I don't know what the point of Mount in that team. So Casemiro left his DM duties and was trying to be that creative guy. He did give Bruno. There was this pass he gave Bruno for that one-on-one that
Yeah, it
Bruno.
was a lovely pass. Lovely.
So he was doing the thing was he was actually doing the uh, creative, being the creator, and he was doing that very well. But then he left them extremely exposed at the back, right? Which then leaves me. So on a regular day, if they had better attackers, I mean the Fulham guys, they could have easily won that game. Onana also made top saves. Yeah, yeah, like you mentioned, Mazraoui was excellent. Zexi came on and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he meant that touch or what.
I don't think he meant it.
You could even tell with the surprise on his face when that ball went in. I don't think he really meant it. But anyways, a goal is a goal. It's great to start the season with 3 points. Yeah. Next game is against Brighton. I really want to see. I know everyone's hailing Mazraoui now, but I would like to see him against Mitoma.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, because I feel like that would be a good test to how good he is defensively. So I would like to see him against another top winger or a better winger in Mitoma. Yeah, let's see if he can pass that.
Yeah, the funny
Adama
thing
Traore
is
was like, sorry, Adama Traore was he
that
was
guy is a clown. I don't trust him, man. I don't trust him.
he's done with oiling his body now, and I mean he's still senseless. He beat what's this guy Dalu. There was this chance where he like bodied Martinez and Dalu and was just like through on goal and just a simple pass. Okay, that's when Mazraoui slid in and blocked off
Yeah,
the pass. I would like to see someone like Minte or Adingra test Dalu again because I don't think he's comfortable in that left back spot, right? What's his name? Ten Hag needs to, I don't know. He might need to come and explain what exactly he bought Mason Mount for, because I don't see his use in that team. He was the 10, but I mean, like I mentioned earlier, Casemiro was doing the creative work for him. He was basically doing nothing, just running around. So I that team still feels I don't know. I don't think they'll compete. They'll still be in and around the top 7. Yeah, that's my opinion, though.
yeah, and I agree with you. Sadly for them, it doesn't get any better. At least for the next 2 weeks, because as you said, they play Brighton next, and then they host Liverpool. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be like a proper tough test for United. Um, I'm hoping that a couple of their players can play their way back into form. Like a Bruno Fernandes, when he's on form, he's quite inspirational. Marcus Rashford doesn't look like the Marcus Rashford of before, and it, honestly, it's a bit sad. But if he can pick himself up, especially before that Liverpool game, it will make the game a bit more interesting. But at this moment, I think Liverpool are quite solid, and this just allows us to go into Liverpool. It's a new coach, but it looks like the same old Liverpool. Over, I'm guessing that you're excited about the progress that Slot has made. So far playing what some people term slotty football. But what's your take on Liverpool so far? It looks really good. Like from the outside, it looks really good.
Well, we need to work on the name first of all. Slotty football. I'm trying to give you a propaganda for the slot machine. So if you're a Liverpool fan and you're
Yeah, that
listening,
would be nice. That would be nice.
let's call it the slot machine, yeah. And I might get a trademark on that name and get some money. Anyways, but with Liverpool, yeah, I've watched all our preseason games and the goal we scored, the first goal we scored against Ipswich was like a carbon copy of the goals we scored against Arsenal, Man United, and Sevilla. Like the forward pass, the bounce back to the midfielder, then they throw ball down the middle, then either you score it or you score 1-on-1. And it's just nice to see like something refreshing. And Klopp left Arne with a very good team, very young team, coachable team, and I feel like the players need some credit as well, because we haven't heard any news about people not liking the style or people not getting along with the new manager, or our players dropping statements when the team lineup comes out, stuff like that.
Hey, bro, what's all this stuff? How many shots are you going to fire? What's going on here?
So like it's good on them. So hopefully long may it continue. I do think we need a few more signings though, and that can help like elevate the team. So because if we go into the season like this, we would be like missing key areas at center back and at DM. So I feel like we should invest in the squad so we can have a chance to actually win the title, because Man City haven't really invested. Arsenal are more or less the same. They just added another left back or centre back. So why can't we push them? Why can't we go further? You know, Klopp taught us to believe. So like he said in his last day, we should support the manager. We should back him, and we should go full throttle again. And I don't feel like the board and FSG have really done that for Slot. But hopefully, yeah, the players that we have will keep having that same mentality that has been nurtured over the last 5, 6 years on that club, and we use that to have a memorable season this year.
I think my big question to you, Ovo, is why do midfielders keep rejecting Liverpool?
I don't know, man. I don't know. To be honest, um, it's actually mad because imagine Liverpool actually signed all their targets. Like we would have had the best team in the world, basically, if we had like Lavia, Caicedo, Bellingham, Soboslai, McAllister, and Zubimendi. Like what?
Or you could
It's
have been
like
Chelsea and people will be wondering what you're doing.
what?
Or you could have been Chelsea and people will be wondering what you're doing.
Nah, nah, nah. We would have a plan.
Really?
Well, okay. Obviously, we wouldn't have if we signed Caicedo, we wouldn't have signed Lavia. But you get what I mean. It means like we're trying to actually, but we are doing something right in identifying the players, just getting it over the line. And sometimes it's not just because of like sometimes it's just money. Sometimes they have agreed, personal terms with Chelsea already. That's what happened with Caicedo. And sometimes it's just like a player wants to stay with his boyhood club, no ambition. That's how it goes. So
Nah, this Zubimendi hate is just crazy. Like you guys are hate watching Sociedad games, and I'm like, what's going on here?
yeah, hate watch is life. So that's what I would say. But yeah, I don't know, to be honest. But I feel like everything works out at the end of the day. I remember last season we got Endo and he was amazing in the League Cup final against Chelsea and Caicedo. So hopefully the player that we do get is going to be successful. I watched the podcast the other day on Ian Graham. He's a sporting data analyst, and he was a Liverpool fan, and he worked in our recruitment team for the past 10 years. And he told a story about Klopp wanting to sign players like is it Gelson, Julian Brandt, Godse, over players like Mane and Salah, or how he wanted to sign Mendy over Robertson. Mendy and Chilwell, actually ironic, and we got Robertson instead. Sorry, Mendy and Emerson, and we got Robertson instead. So sometimes it works out in your favor when you can't really get your number one target. So hopefully we can make it cool again before the transfer window closes and push on this season.
I have a rebuttal to that. Somehow I feel like Slot isn't happy with your current transfer window. Okay, let's take the game against Ipswich. I can say that until that goal was scored, Ipswich were really pushing, and I felt like you guys were really. I don't think you guys expected what Ipswich brought to the table. It was almost like you guys were shocked at how they were pressing and how they were fearless. I think you guys expected to just roll over them, but Ipswich really gave a good account of themselves. And of course, again, same story with bottom teams. If they had better players, it could have been a different story. Um, we haven't seen. Okay, I don't think Darwin. I don't think Darwin played. It was Gakpo who came on, right? So I don't know if Darwin suits slots. I don't know, slots football, whatever you guys call it. Jota, we know how injury prone Jota is. It's only a matter of time until he gets injured again. This is not. This is not me wishing. This is not me wishing injury on him, but we know. Um, your
um,
midfield. Goodness. Okay, go on.
yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, against Ipswich, yeah, we didn't start the game well. No Liverpool fan will tell you that that first half was good, but at the same time, we did limit them to no clear cut chances at the end of the day. And in the second half, we made the change with Kwanzaa and Konate. We started winning more duels and getting Trent on the ball, Sobo on the ball, Salah on the ball, and immediately we scored a goal. And from there, I think we controlled the rest of the game throughout. Obviously, we need to start games better, because on a different day, maybe a team would have scored us and it would have been difficult to then come back. We watched Liverpool last season. We always, in fact, you need to like start games 1-0 down, last season. So hopefully this is something that we can improve on. It's not something that is like particular to slots. It's something that we've had a problem with since last season. So hopefully we improve on it, and I'm sure Slot has identified that, and the players will know that they have to be sharper at the start of games. Um, I know about like the midfield. I don't think he's happy for sure because he did try to improve the midfield and we couldn't get the target that we identified. So obviously he's not, 100% happy, but it's not like we don't have talented players in the team that can, fill that role, like Gravenberch, like we saw McAllister did it last season, like again. So if we don't sign someone this summer, I would be disappointed for sure. But I don't think it's something that will make us drop off. We'll still be able to get top four. And hopefully, Slot has done it before with players in AZ Alkmaar and Feyenoord, where he has molded them to the kind of player he wants them to be, and they have become better from it. So hopefully, he can do that with Gravenberch as well, and with Jota. Jota has had his fair share of injuries, I agree. But at the same time, most of them are impact injuries. They're not like hamstring injuries or anything. Like the last time he got injured, a Brentford player literally fell on his leg, from the sky. No God, I'll never forget him. Like he injured Jones and Jota that same day and didn't get any cards or nothing. So they're mostly about like tackles, not like him pulling a hamstring or pulling a thigh or something like that. So hopefully he stays, fit throughout the season or for majority of the season. And if he doesn't, Nunes, this is your third season, and Slots. I even spoke about it today on my Twitter. Slots has said that when Slot got the job, it was briefed that he's looking forward to working with Darwin Nunes. He on his first interview for Liverpool, he said he had actually spoken to Nunes, Trent and Van Dijk and Salah. Those are the players he spoke to. So obviously I feel like Nunes is in his plans. So if Jota does get injured, maybe this will be the time to, for Nunes to step up and be the player that his supporters feel he can be. And so yeah, that's just my reply to that. I'm not saying Liverpool are perfect and everything is like walking on sunshine, but it's we have a good foundation and we can surprise a lot of people this season because at the end of the day, we did have a lot of injuries last season that derailed our title race. The thing is that our players got injured, then came back. And during the running of the Premier League, you need your players very, very sharp. And our key players, Allison, Trent, Salah, all these guys, they were not as sharp as you would expect them to be going into the running of the season. So that's, stuttered our progress. Hopefully they stay fit this season and hopefully we can maintain that title run.
So
So
speaking
yeah.
about transfers, over, I wanted to even ask about. I know it's not an issue now, but it's an issue in the future, and I can see that your club is already planning for it. Allison's contract is expiring next year. I think Van Dijk, Trent, and Salah as well. There's reports that Mamadashvili, the goalkeeper of Valencia, is going to be, the new Liverpool goalkeeper is coming in next year, and that just kind of suggests that Allison will not sign a new deal. Now, are you concerned? Not just that signings have not been made for this season, but then there could be very big holes in the team next year.
Um, okay, with Allison's contract is expiring in 2 years' time. So, but obviously, since we're like signing a goalkeeper, I feel maybe he has told the club that maybe he wants to leave at the end of the season, a la Roberto Firmino. Then with the other guys, Van Dijk, Trent, and Salah, these guys are Liverpool legends, and d- you guys know football. You know Steve McManaman, yeah. He came from the
Yeah.
Liverpool Academy, and I feel like his Liverpool legacy is a little bit tainted because he left Liverpool on a free to go to Madrid. And obviously, he scored the goal in the Champions League final, was very successful, blah, blah, blah. But he's not really remembered in Real Madrid like that because of the many stars they have there, Beckham's, them, and the likes. But if he stayed at Liverpool, he would have been like almost like Steven Gerrard or something. Trent, if Trent leaves on free, I don't think it would be like that because he has legit won everything with us. But I hope he signs a new contract, to be honest, because my dream is like him being the captain of the new Liverpool and everything. But if he does leave, like I will understand. The club hasn't really um shown that they want to compete with Arsenal, Man City, and Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and all these things because they don't invest as much as them. Salah is getting old, but I still think he's one of the best players, if not the best player in the league, the Premier League legend. So I hope he stays as well. But Saudi is always there, trying to get his contracts. But I just hope we can get Salah and Veg on 1 year deals with like options to extend, like what Madrid used to do with like Modric and them guys. So obviously I am worried that they would leave for free because that means we would then have to address the players we didn't sign this summer, and then we'll have to replace some of the best players in the world after losing them for nothing. That's a big, big concern. And Richard Hughes, our director of football, has a lot of work on his hands because if he doesn't get those guys tied down, then next year might be the beginning of the end of Liverpool competing for a very long time because they haven't really given us any signs of trying to invest in the squad and trying to make just smart decisions. You understand? So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, and finally on Liverpool reward. I don't know if you saw all the banter and conversations between Liverpool fans on Luis Diaz. He seems to divide opinion where some fans feel like he's good enough, others feel like he struggles to get that end product. What are your thoughts on Luis Diaz, and do you think that Liverpool might need to improve in that area?
Honestly, I feel like he's just he's a South American Modric. Because they're basically the same.
Ah,
Yeah, zero output, zero like all chaos, but nothing comes out of it. I don't know. I thought he would be that guy because he's shown promise a couple of times, but nothing consistent. It's just very inconsistent. But the thing, like Ovo said about Liverpool, I don't think there's anybody who can even play that position. Gakpo, I mean, we saw Gakpo at the Euros, right? So yeah, he can play that, but I don't think that's his favorite or that's his preferred position. Darwin can also play that position too, but again, the less said about Darwin, the better. Yeah, but I feel like it's Diaz's position to lose. He's currently first choice. Yeah, uh, Liverpool are not ready to invest. So again, I mean, we can talk about our predictions later on, but yeah, if they really want to push Arsenal and United, then sorry, Arsenal and City, then they have to invest in their team. For now, I don't think the left wing is a priority. Diaz is he's okay, it's fine. But when Salah leaves, I think that's when there'll be a huge problem.
All right. So moving on from Liverpool to Arsenal, we kind of saw like normal service resumed. Arsenal won, clean sheet. So Gabriel Saliba, that fantastic defensive pairing, just continue doing what they usually do. Saka with a goal and an assist, and Kai Havertz, for some reason, getting goals, and he also popped up with an assist. What are you expecting from Arsenal this season? Is Pep seems to believe that Arsenal will push City right until the end. Do you share the same sentiment?
I feel like they will even win it because I don't know what's up, whether Pep is expecting the 115 charges to eventually catch up with them. So they might get some points deduction or whatever. So, but it doesn't look like City are going at it, right? They've lost a couple of players and they haven't replaced them. They've lost Alvarez. Um, who else did he lose? Okay, it's KDB. We're still not sure if KDB is staying or if he's going to Saudi.
Yeah.
Walker, same thing. Um, who else?
Ederson was supposed to leave, but he's still there.
Yeah, it just feels like I don't feel like the team is as strong as it was. I know they brought Savinho and then Oscar Bob. Unfortunately, he got injured, the leg fracture, but that was someone I was really looking forward to seeing. But I feel like City are lighter than last season, and Arsenal haven't even done much per se because the attack is still very light. I mean, any team who's depending on Havertz to win the league, that they're just joking, honestly. Um, I know they've signed Calafiori, and we saw him for a couple of minutes. So they are, of course, like you mentioned, their defense looks fantastic, well built. They had the least, yeah, they had the best clean sheet stats last season. I'm sure they'll get the same thing again. I feel like Ateta is going for a more pragmatic approach this season. He doesn't want to lose any games. I mean, that can also work. But then they're only a couple of injuries away from disaster. Last season, injuries were very kind, extremely kind to Arsenal and City. They barely got any injuries. An injury to an Odegaard or a Saka or a Rice or a Saliba, I don't think Arsenal can even make top four, right? But I mean, if injuries are kind to them again, and yeah, they should. I, at this point, they have to win the league. Honestly, like if City gets all these points deduction, as you just Arsenal just has to win the league. Like there's nothing stopping them, or there's no one stopping them other than themselves. But yeah, if Nketiah leaves, they definitely need to get someone in. I have no idea why they haven't gone for Gyökeres because that would have been the perfect striker for them. Somehow I don't know, they're shy. Yeah, but they need a striker. Havertz and Jesus, they can't. You can't win the league with those kind of players. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's not going to be easy for us now in the next few weeks because the fixture list is actually not kind to them. The next game for them is Aston Villa away. Then they have Brighton at home, Tottenham away, and City away. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a very tough, first five fixtures for Arsenal. They played the first, the remaining four. Nobody's going to hand them, any present. We'll see how Arsenal survive that. We have Albert with us now. Hi, Albert. Thanks for joining. and you missed the whole conversation on Manchester United. So sorry.
I know. I hope it wasn't. I hope it was interesting.
Yeah, yeah, we're fair to your team. We're fair. Don't worry.
Yeah,
But
I think.
it's good that you joined while we're talking about Arsenal because I know you kind of have um, high regard for Arteta and the work that he's doing at Arsenal. Did you catch the Wolves game?
Yeah, I did. I did. I think the way they played. That I saw that like what Reward said. That pragmatic approach is what Ateta is going for right now. Contrary to what Reward said about Kai Havertz, right? He looked sharp in that game. He might not necessarily be the striker that could win them the league, right? But he feels there's this aura that he's giving this particular. Maybe it's just a one game. It's just one game we've seen, right? But he really looked sharp this that game, and I felt like he has really adjusted into playing as a top nine or a false nine for Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal is going to be in the market for a striker at the moment, even come now or even in the January transfer window. I think this is what they currently have right now. They have a strong defense that could be a good foundation for them. If Calafiori is on the bench and Julian Timber is also on the bench, you believe that the defense has a very good cover. Also with Giorgio on the bench also. But yeah, like Reward said, if Nketiah leaves, then there will be some worries to get a forward. But yeah, like hopefully I hope Arsenal can do it this season. Man City doesn't look like Man City, but like I think one thing that Man City did, or one thing they always do is they always like surprise you. They'll give you that smoke screen. Like the smoke screen that was given this weekend was the fact that Rodri wasn't available, so it felt like the team was weak. But not knowing that Rodri's replacement was the one that was going to score the winning goal against Chelsea. So I think yeah, they Arsenal still need to be wary of the fact that Man City has experience in winning in the toughest situations possible. So yes, I think that's one thing that they need to focus on. If Haaland isn't 100%, yeah, then maybe they might. I know. I think Pep has also thrived in playing that false nine. And he has players that can play that false nine, even if Haaland isn't available. So I think Man City literally has everything covered for them. But yeah, Arsenal just needs to be wary of their own experience in winning the league. So.
Oh, but I'm wondering where you got the notion that Haaland isn't 100%.
No, I said if Haaland isn't 100%, if
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't he be 100%?
he's the only he's the striker they have. He's their main striker. Can you play all their
You
games?
know how many touches he had against Chelsea?
How many?
No, you want me just guess.
Tell me.
12. That guy does nothing on the pitch but score goals. So he can play 45 games in a season easy. He even came out after the game and said it with his own mouth. He said he's never felt any better in his whole playing career. So he feels on top of. He had the whole summer off. Everyone was playing Euros, Olympics, and all that. He was just resting, ready to destroy us this season. So
There's one thing about playing the whole game and one thing about playing extremely well, right? So he always been. I don't guarantee that he's going to always be in top form in every game, right? But yeah, let's see how the season goes.
No, speaking about Haaland and strikers, I think this is a very interesting topic because initially, before the summer, we thought there was going to be this whole mad striker market and different pieces moving around. But so far, it's been pretty, will I say, dull. Apart from Solanke, uh, I'm trying to think of another big name striker that we expected to move that has made a move. Osimhen is still where he is. Lukaku is still where he is. Ivan Toney is still where he is. Isaac isn't going anywhere. I don't know if you want to count the likes of Zexi and these guys are not like.
PSR is not your mate now.
Sorry, who?
I said PSR is not your mate. Clubs are doing buy my player and buy
I swear.
trade.
So,
So
so it's a tough one because City lost Alvarez. So yeah, we can say that that's a big move in the striker market. And I guess the knock-on effect was supposed to be Omorodion moving to Chelsea, even though I had my issues with that deal, and I kind of thank God that it didn't happen. But we're not seeing a lot of striker movements. I think Brentford especially hoping that Ivan Toney would leave. He's still there. Um, so, Reward, how do you think City can go about this Haaland thing? Yes, there's a fourth line option, but do you think they should be in the market for a striker to kind of cover for the loss of Alvarez?
the way their team is set up, that's probably why Alvarez left. Because I mean, for a guy with his quality, I don't think he was okay. He wasn't satisfied being the backup guy. So now anybody who's going to City as a striker, you're the backup. So is there anyone on the market that's good enough for Pep that's okay with being a backup? I doubt. Again, like Nkem mentioned, there's the 115. I mentioned that earlier also. It feels like they are preparing for that. I feel like they know it's coming. So what's the point buying more players, right? So they have to prepare for that. And preparing for that means just making do with what they have, right? So I don't see them going all out to sign anybody. I know Gundogan, they're currently talks with him. Barca decided to let him leave on a free, so he's had talks with Pep, so he's probably going to return. Aside that, I don't see anything else happening at City.
That's a good one and a fair point on City side. Nkem, welcome. And just to introduce you to the conversation, City aside, is there any other club that are expecting to make a move in that striker market?
For sure now. Ndị Chelsea must buy striker now. I'm expecting Chelsea to buy Osimhen. I just feel like that's like the piece de resistance for Chelsea to pop. I know it's been a very weird summer for them, but I just feel like Osimhen is just that final. It pains me to say this, but yeah, I think he's that final puzzle. And I mean, it's a match made in heaven in the sense that he wants to leave. I think he has started keeping malice with his Napoli colleagues. And Chelsea is well positioned. I think there are discussions. I don't know what's happening there, but I just feel like something would happen. There's also Luku baby needing to move as well. There might be an exchange somewhere there. And obviously, from a United agenda perspective, I need them to pay money for Osimhen. Let McTominay finally go. Like, please, if there's anything I'm going to beg Chelsea to help me do, please just pay money for Osimhen. Let the knock-on effect take place. Let McTominay come and be going. Yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, I think from a striking perspective, yeah. Then yeah, to your point about Man City, I feel like they just might drop into the market to get somebody because it's going to be very dangerous for them to go into the season, especially with the way the Champions League format is set up now. It's going to be very, very ignorant of them to go into the season with just Haaland. I know he's on his bionic levels right now, but I mean, you can't just depend on one striker for the season.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, I think we will drop a message in the comment section regarding the new format. There are like two more games that teams will play. So there's supposed to be this computer. I have my air quotes, even though you guys can't see me. There's supposed to be this computer that will determine your eight fixtures in the Champions League, and you're supposed to play two teams in pot one, two teams in pot two, two in pot three, and two in pot four. It's same for Europa League and also the Europa Conference League. So they're like two extra group stage games, and there's some qualification formula where I think the first is it the first eight or so get automatic qualification, and then the rest of them, I think up to the 24th team. I'm trying to remember the exact numbers or 60, I've tried to remember those numbers, but some other teams will get to play like an extra knockout game where they use that to now filter down into who goes to the next round. So it's going to be interesting for us as fans because we will see a lot more games and we will see a lot of big teams play against each other. You don't get to run away from everybody like before, where you're just in your group. They'll draw Man City with Shakhtar and Leipzig as usual. They'll use those ones to start bad. Nah, this is a bit more open, and there'll be some nice fixtures there. So I agree that City will need to get a striker because Haaland cannot play 50 games or start 50 games in a row. That would be that would be overkill. So let's go into the Chelsea Man City game as we've already talked about City and Haaland enough. I'll start with Reward. Reward, as a Chelsea fan, I want to get your thoughts on the game before I go to the haters.
I feel like for the first time in a while, I actually liked what I saw. I know that's strange coming from me, yeah, because typically, yeah, the problem was I didn't like Poch, and I made that very clear. So, yeah, and rightly so, by the way. But with Maresca, I feel like he set up his team not to be demolished by City, and that's perfect for me. That's okay. It was the first game of the season. I had zero expectations. I expected City to destroy us, but somehow they didn't. So I'm glad that worked in our favor. There's been a large outcry from the fans, like Enzo needs to be dropped. Enzo will be the downfall of Maresca. I mean, his name is Enzo as well. He's not worth his price tag. Why is he even the captain after the whole um, racism, whatever? I feel like people should put themselves in Maresca's position. There's no way you'd sign a player for that amount, and there's no way you'd sign a player for that amount and bench him, right? Yes, we all know that Enzo is not a 10. We've seen it play out so many times, and I don't think it will ever work. He's not that creative. He can't even press. He's quite slow. He's not Jorginho slow, but he's not fast either. So he can't play that 10. Maresca noticed that and changed it in the second half, where he put him further down or further back, and you could see him take on that deep playmaking role, which suits him. But the problem is that we have a very well suited Lavia, who started preseason and, of course, the first game of the season on fire. Um, so that creates a conundrum, right? And there's also a Caicedo. I feel like going forward, when you're playing against deep blocks, right? When you're playing against bottom teams who just want to park the bus, you have to play two of them. And my suggestion is Lav. So in both cases, Lavia has to start because he feels like the most. Um, I feel like he's the fittest midfielder we have currently. We just sold Gallagher, so yeah, Lavia has to start, and then Enzo. That's against low blocks. But when we're playing like a top team or a team who would like struggle for the midfield dominance and all that, then it has to be Lavia and Caicedo. I don't think the three of them will work. And it's a good thing we have a lot of games. Again, we're in the Conference League. It's a good thing we have a lot of games. So I feel like everyone will get their own fair share of games. So the earlier Maresca is bold enough to make that change, the better for him. Three of them can work together. We saw Cole Palmer way, I don't even know what position he was playing. He was hugging the touchline. That's not Cole Palmer. He was coming to the back almost to get the ball from the defenders, acting like the DM. That's not where we want to see Cole Palmer. We want to see him just behind the striker, right? So again, I will give Maresca his grace because I feel like he went that way just because it was City. In future games, I'm sure would very much see the way the true Maresca ball. I really don't have expectations of Chelsea this season because it's almost like we're starting from the scratch. Yeah. People, my plea is that people should just give this guy a break or give this team a break. I don't know if you were able to hear from when you were watching the TV and you saw the bulls ringing out from the fans. Even the
Yeah,
City fans were even louder than the Chelsea fans, and this was at Stamford Bridge. It was unbelievable. Fans, Chelsea fans have become like the most toxic fans online. Nothing works. Nothing satisfies them. There's a problem with every single thing Chelsea does. And we've seen a lot of agendas, especially from Sky Sports, with, of course, Liverpool's Jamie Carragher and co. Now is the time for Chelsea fans to come together as one and try and support this team and make things work. Like I mentioned at the start of this stream, we've been, I don't want to use the word baby fed, but we've been spoiled to the point that we have unrealistic expectations. We're not that team anymore, right? So we have to go through this process. It happens to everybody. Arsenal have been in the wilderness for ages, right? I feel like Liverpool are getting there, but they don't want to. They're being delusional now, but it's okay. They're getting to their post-Fergie era. Once Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent leaves, then we'll see. So it happens to every club, and there's no shame in that. Just own it, trust the process. I hate that word, but trust the process, and eventually it should work out. So that's my take on Chelsea. Sorry, that was a very long rant.
yeah, that's fine. I want to go to Oval. So Oval, before the game, we heard that Raheem Sterling was not going to be in the squad, and then Sterling's camp already put out a statement to say they are going to seek clarity. I don't know. I found it very strange because yeah, people get dropped from lineups. But why is your camp already preparing statement to tell us that they're going to? Anyway, that's for Sterling. But he's a former Liverpool youngster. That's why I'm coming to you. Like, what are your thoughts on the whole situation regarding Sterling?
Okay. So the thing is that I feel like from Sterling's point of view, right? I think everybody's looking at it from Chelsea's point of view. Like you said, players get dropped. It is what it is. But from Sterling's point of view, in the statement, he said that he came to training camp 2 days, 2 weeks early to training camp. He had good dialogue with the coach and everything. He had a good preseason and everything, and he felt like he was one of the leaders in the dressing room. You understand? And so, if like the coach and the Chelsea hierarchy have given him that impression that his job is safe, because if you look at how Chelsea have treated their other players like Gallagher and Chalobah, having them train with the under 21, not giving them access to the gym, telling them not to even park their car in the training ground. They should go and park in the in the in the petrol station. You understand? Sterling doesn't want that to happen to him. So when he doesn't see himself in the starting lineup, yeah, he probably feels that okay, they are trying to phase him out like they are doing with other players. And obviously, from the fact that he had been, on his best behavior throughout preseason, trying his best to, get into the team and actually even help Maresca in some ways because he's one of the senior members in the team and it seems to be getting phased out for players like Modric or Madueke, who he feels he is probably better than, then that's where he's probably coming from because he feels like he deserves a place, even though, the coach might even just be not picking him because of his play, which I don't think it is. He feels like he maybe deserves a place at least on the bench because he can't like have done all that throughout preseason and everything. I've spoken to the manager just for him to get dropped on the first match they scored against his former team. It seemed that he played well against both home and away, and I think in the cup as well. So yeah, that's just Sterling's point of view from my point of view. What I think will be going through Sterling's mind, but with Chelsea, we don't really know what Chelsea are doing with Sterling because they can be phasing him out as well. they can't sell Madueke and Modric and all these guys because they are investments. And Sterling, I think Sterling was purchased from the last ownership. So he's one of those players that can actually leave the club, you understand? So maybe that's what Chelsea are doing, or maybe Maresca just didn't pick him because he didn't think it was good enough. But should he have released a statement? I think there's something you could have, spoken to Chelsea from the background. You understand? Not like put it out in public on the first day. Enzo already has like a lot of like problems on his hands. You understand? So I don't think it's something that he should have done. It should just, cause more friction in the dressing room and like in the media and everything, because it's something that people like me and you are now talking about, and we feel like it's going to be like a hindrance to Chelsea's start of the season. So that's just what I feel.
Yeah, who wants to respond to that? I know reward is itching to to respond to
I have
that.
plenty things to say, but let reward go.
No, no, no. Go on, I don't want to go on another rant. So please go on.
Yeah,
No, I
can go
mean,
ahead.
does anybody have like did I say anything wrong or
No, 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 no. Fully aligned, but I think you were even being very nice. Yeah, you were being very nice about it. I think that Sterling should grow the freak up, right? Like what is saying, they can't be paying you the money that they are paying you, and you're turning in the performance that you're turning in. I think you're already kind of on a downward spiral for City to have sold him to Chelsea. I was even very surprised with the way Chelsea was going, the kind of profiles that I saw them getting to have gone for him in the first place. The guy is not performing. That whole stunt about sending his people to drop a message, I mean, speaking to the press, he has to go, man. Like this kind of thing, you need to set standards. Like there's for me, there's no coming back. I think I even heard that he has got taking Chelsea off his profile and whatnot. Like what is it with these players and social media throwing tantrums? Do your talking on the pitch. Palmer is the best example for this kind of discussion. I know everybody is crying about everything happening with Chelsea, 42 players, 191 years in prison, whatever. I don't care. But like my own is Palmer, for instance, came as somebody that was a player trying to get into the same team this same Sterling came from. He has showed his mettle. Now, instead of selling to buckle up, what's my business if you spend 2 weeks? If you like come 1 year before the trade, if you're not showing results on the pitch, you're not talking. So for me, yeah, I think it's a case of him needing to buckle up, wear his big boy pants, and do what he needs to do on the pitch and stop crying like a baby. I mean, we have to address this Nkunku situation because I'm so stressed right now. Like,
Inkem, can I like ask you a question? Do you feel
yeah, yeah,
like
sure.
Sterling hasn't played better than Modric or Madueke over the last couple months?
I've not watched Chelsea's games consistently, right? But I feel like I see more of a threat from Madueke
Wait,
in the games that I've seen.
okay, but I think the best way to answer it is that the fact that you're comparing Sterling with,
Yeah,
Modric
to
and
those
Matic
guys.
says a lot. I don't need to say anything again. If
Like
No,
he's
I
that's
a
mean,
former
but
Champions League and Premier League winner.
if that's his level now, then
Okay, no,
there's,
even
I have
Champions
no
League.
words, honestly.
Oh, yeah, Champions League.
He's freaking
okay,
Sterling. Sterling. Why do we
okay,
have to
wait.
compare him with a
Okay,
Madrid?
let me be devil's advocate here. Reward,
Yeah.
like, so from your perspective, you don't think Sterling deserves to even be in the. If you were to pick Chelsea's full 18-man squad, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have had Sterling in there.
No, he won't even be on my bench.
Nope. With Neto and Felix and those guys coming in. Like
Sterling,
no good, no
Sterling
good they
will not
do.
be on my bench. I'm being honest. It's not
Ebuka,
even.
neither would you.
Yeah,
Like you said, no go even sit back in.
I'll have Sterling on my bench at the very least. So just because it's Man City, Sterling tends to pop against Man City because he has like a
So
point to
that's what
prove.
we're paying him 325K for.
No, that was a different case. Yeah, that when you factor in the 325K, there's no justification. Like Sterling is not living up to that amount. But maybe it could have been handled differently on both sides. But then it seems like the writing's on the wall and Sterling is going to leave Chelsea. So I just hope he can find a buyer.
I want to hear what Reward has to say about this.
So the thing is, when Boli came, when this new owners, Clearlake, they bought Chelsea, Bowley was like the face of Clearlake at that time. There was no sporting director, nothing. And this guy knew nothing about football matters. He was just going around having meals with different. Why do we have this guy on the screen?
Chooks just joined us.
To start chaos is easy.
Anyways, as I was saying, Bowley was the face of the company, and he was just going around with agents having having meals. Any agent would bring up any stupid player, this guy would sign them, right? Or he would come on then it was Twitter Spaces. He would come on Twitter Space, and Chelsea fans would be talking about a player, hyping a player up. This guy will go and sign him. Valley is now running things, and since then, the strategy has changed. We're no longer paying. If you go check all the players we've been signing, nobody's earning even up to 150K now. Even Felix that just got signed had to cut his wages to join us. Chelsea isn't signing anybody on high wages. That's why the Osimhen deal is taking forever. Chelsea isn't going to pay him what he wants, right? We are signing people on massive contracts with reduced wages. That's the way they do their deals these days. So Sterling, if you check, I think Sterling and who else is left? I feel like it's only Sterling that is left from that era where Bowley was just on a mad thing, right? On a madness. Every one of them have been sold or have left the club. Koulibaly, who else was signed at that period? I can't remember. Oh, Chilwell was even given another contract extension. Nobody's talking about Chilwell because he's not making noise. He's very calm and taking
Reece
it.
James was given a new contract. Fafana was signed.
Right.
All those guys.
Wasn't Badia Chile, Disasi?
No, those ones were January. Even in Kunku.
Okay.
Even in Kunku.
Nkunku was before. Nkunku was before. Right. So if you check
Yeah,
now,
but it was Bowley still.
Nobody's getting all those massive contracts. So all those guys with massive contracts, they will slowly be faded away. They would Reece James. Let's not even go into his matter. If he continues his injury, whatever this season, I can assure you Reece James is leaving the club next season. So that's my take on Sterling. He should read the handwriting. He's not a kid. He knows. So he should just fuck off, honestly.
Yeah, but if you've had a whole preseason, you've trained very well, you've had good dialogue with the boardroom and the coach, and he has communicated to you that you are a member of his plans and everything, and in the first lineup of the season, he removes you out. Don't you think that is something that can make you like?
Definitely. But then going on social media or just before the game, telling your agent to go spill rubbish online isn't the way to go about it. That's something that could have been resolved in-house. You didn't have to do that. But now that you've made it public, you might as well indulge. So, yeah.
And just to add, so what club will want to go for someone that would do that?
Right.
Like these guys are so they are so ill-advised. Bruh, like I'll give an example.
What about Osimhen? What about Osimhen and Finidi that he was dragging? Is it not still Osimhen that everybody like Chelsea's going after?
That's why Arsenal is not doing for him now. Why do you think?
Ebuka, I get that, right? But that's probably why, to Reward's point, other people are not going for him. And that's, I think, definitely Osimhen has some attitude that's going on there. But that's why the clubs are not going for him. Look at someone like Sancho as well. That's the reason why clubs won't go. Nobody wants somebody with a bad behavior to come and do the work on the pitch, for crying out loud. Why are you going to go and send publicists? And the thing about that Chelsea one, she is paying me as if I'm a Chelsea fan. It was just before your first game for your new manager. Reward, please take your emotions back. You have affected me now. The thing is doing me as if I'm a Chelsea fan. It was so annoying now, guys. Like, what is that? It is bad behavior.
Yeah, let's see what happens there. I think Sterling will leave, but I don't know how straightforward it will be to get a buyer. The thing is, he's on good wages, so it's also possible that he'll say he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and nothing will happen. Really,
exactly.
Nobody's going to pay him those kind of wages. So yeah, it's just a pity that Chelsea fell for the bait. Honestly. I don't think he's going to leave, but
Yeah,
except
and
I
look
don't
at
think
Lukaku as well.
he'll go to Saudi, so he loves London. He'll probably stay.
Yeah, and at this moment we still have Lukaku on the books.
Oh God.
Kepa is still on the books officially. It's actually it's a tough one for the directors. I know that they're trying to find solutions, trying to make certain players leave the club. Let's see how that goes. But Kepa and Lukaku are still technically Chelsea players. Interesting. Chooks, thanks for joining us. You're joining us like when we're about to end this stream. How you doing, bro?
I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
It's my- oh, yeah. It's interesting seeing how you guys are running things down at Stamford Bridge and whatnot. So, what do you know? I know it's going to be a tough battle for top four for the likes of Man U, Chelsea. I don't know what Newcastle has up their sleeve this season, but it's going to be interesting to watch. Also, Aston Villa doing good things down at Villa Park with Unai Emery. But I'm not hopeful for too much this season because I don't want to get my hopes high and then everything dashed into the wind. So we'll see how the season goes. Game week 1, no offsets. But let's see how game week 2 unfolds.
All right. So we'll end the stream with like top four predictions, right? So Chooks, we'll just start with you. Your top four predictions.
So we're gonna talk about Spurs a bit. And Jamie Vardy.
I completely forgot. completely forgot about Spurs, and yeah, it was good to see Vardy, come back to the Premier League and score. Nkem, I heard that Vardy left the Premier League, got relegated, came back, and I think he has scored about the same goals as Anthony, or he has one more than Anthony. Can you please correct me, Nkem?
It's very possible. Me, I don't even care. Drag that guy. You can drag him like Tiger Generator. That's his business. But it's very, very possible. Una the keep start, sha.
Yeah, but Reward, how did you see the Spurs game? We saw Ange's first game of the new season. We're expecting, I don't know, maybe we're expecting too much from Spurs, but 1-1 draw is not so bad. But I'm sure a lot of their fans are quite disappointed by that result.
Yeah, the 1-1 draw was terrible, judging by the way they went about the first half. I mean, Angie's posture at the end of the game just told you everything. Because I just saw him all slouched down with his hands in his head bent. I'm like, this is just game week 1. And here we are again. They came out. I have no idea how they didn't score like 4 goals in that first half. Like, Leicester had nothing. They had no answer. They couldn't even do anything. They were just letting Spurs have their freeway. If you check the stats, I think like 10 players had shots on target in that first half. 10 different players from Spurs had shots on target in that first half alone. How they
That's
couldn't score.
all the outfield players, though.
Yeah. So how they couldn't score is it was just beyond me. I don't know. I honestly don't know what happened. And then second half came. Vardy just scored from nowhere. Typical Spurs. We all know that Spurs can't keep a clean sheet. That's normal, steady. But why do you lose your head, or how do you lose your head after just 1 goal? Funny thing was, Leicester could have even won that game. Vardy had a one-on-one that he missed. Mavididi had a one-on-one that he missed. Leicester could have won that game, and that would have just been wild. It's going to be a long season for Spurs, honestly, because I don't know what it is, but they play good football, but it's just the mentality thing, and he hasn't left. It hasn't changed, honestly. It's still same old same. They just don't have that mentality. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. I honestly don't know why, but I love their style of football. It's madness. It's crazy because I don't know why you'd be keeping that kind of high line. How is a 37-year-old Vardy outrunning Pedro Porro. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. But yeah, it will be a long season for Spurs. Yeah, they also have Europe, so yeah, like in Canton, Red Bull, Red Bull gives you away.
Yeah, so let me pass to Albert. Albert, you know, the sign of Dominic Solanke, big money, 65 million. Do you think that he can fill that hurricane sized void that Spurs have? Son played as a nine at some point last season. Richarlison played as the nine. Do you think that Solanke is the final answer?
With the player that Harry Kane is right now and was at Spurs, I don't think Solanke can be the same Harry Kane, but I believe he can bring his own personality into that team. So he needs to define himself in that team and not ride on the expectations of being like Harry Kane because he also has that talent. So I believe he can produce good results in the Spurs team. Why? Because there's a need for him to do that, and he also has the talent to. I believe he will start more games than Richarlison would. So he just needs to ensure that and if you know someone like Solanke, he's been it's been a while. It's taken a while for him to like show himself since he like left Chelsea, so Chelsea's youth team, right? There was that there was that spark there. Like they knew that there was something in this player. He started to produce more results last season. I believe he can still ride on that spark of last season for this season, and he has better players right now at Spurs. And yeah, I believe he would put his own personality into that forward line.
Wow, there's a hot take in the comment section. The world believes that Solanke is going to flop. It's going to be flop of the season. Um, Ovo, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Solanke would be up there in that flop of the season conversation?
To be honest, Leicester, in my opinion, have like one of the worst CB combinations in the league, and they were able to, keep him quiet. I don't remember any chances he had. I think he had that header in the first half, but that was pretty much it. They kept him quiet for most of the game. It's the first game. I don't think he's had preseason with them, so I don't want to judge him too harshly. But at the same time, I don't think Solanke has ever been like a prolific Premier League striker until last season. And if you're a beginner data analyst, you should be able to highlight outliers in a player's career. So maybe that was an outlier for him. We've seen it many times with players that who have turned out to be quote unquote flops. Um, i.e. Darwin Nunes, who had an outlier season in Benfica. So for if you're a Tottenham fan, I'm not gonna say yeah he's definitely going to flop, but it's not a hot take. You understand? So hopefully, I think that next game is against Everton. Everton have looked very shaky as well. So if he can't perform against Everton at home, then the alarm bells will start ringing, and maybe he might not be that guy because he did play for Chelsea and Liverpool, and we both like let him go. I think Chelsea let him go for free, and Liverpool let him go for 20 m's. So yeah, that's my take.
Thanks, Ugo. Nkem doesn't believe that he will flop. Okay, Nkem, I can see you're trying to be a bit, you know, on the nice
Yeah,
side.
I'm the science guy. I don't think he'll flop. And the reason is because he literally just joined the team, right? As a striker, you need to it's two things for a striker. You need to learn about your teammates, and your teammates need to learn about you as well. And I don't know, I really believe in Ange's philosophy with bringing up his players, training them, putting them in the right sort of state of mind for games. He has shown that with Tottenham. He has shown that with Funny enough, now that I think about it, I think the only player I might even have concerns about with Spurs is Son, because it feels like he's losing some steam. It feels like he's not that guy that we knew 2 seasons ago. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure that Solanke is going to pop. Let's also remember that he had quite the haul for a Bournemouth team that did not do so much for him in terms of chance creation. These guys are going to create chances for him. So unless he's a Yakubu or unless his village people are chasing him, I think he's going to have a go. And for me, I'm not going to make a call on him maybe until I see his first 5 games. I think it's really, really early days for him.
Well, you know,
You
sometimes
said Bournemouth is his level.
it's possible. But in game, you know that village people sometimes they work overtime. So let's see how that goes
Yeah.
for Sri Lanka. So let's take top four picks and we'll round up. So I will start with Chooks. Chooks, your top four picks.
Top four is supposed to be pretty straightforward, but for some reason, I'm not even certain how that would go. Well, first off, at the top of the league, it's no other than that baldy. I know we have three baldies, but you have to guess which one gets the top spot. It's no other
And it's
than
not.
yeah. Over you wish. I could also wish it was my own
Ten
baldy,
Hag.
but you get me. It's none of those guys, man. It's, City. Does he have to be in any order? Are we picking top four as top four, or are we picking top four as the top four club?
No, top four in the right order. First, second, third, fourth.
Because I would have liked to just gamble a bit there. So City, coming close in second is Arsenal. In third, as much as I want it to be United, I think it would be tough call for Liverpool. And in fourth position, Manchester United.
Okay,
Chelsea miss out by 2 points.
interesting. All right, thank you very much, Albert.
Okay, I just need to be more pragmatic. I think last season I went with my heart and I was burnt. Um, so yeah, I would have said Arsenal top the league. Um, but yeah, I still believe City would do it again. Like Pep just needs to go basically for me to like just say okay, Arsenal can have it. But yeah, City first, Arsenal second. Um, I wouldn't have said Liverpool third, but Salah just showed us again that he's still scoring and he still has it in him. I don't think they have the best midfield this season, but I think that Salah experience is it's one to take you through the season, right? So yeah, I would say Liverpool third and United fourth. So more of a resurgence for them. It's still going to take a while for like Zexi to like settle in. I know he scored, but still, there's still a lot. Rashford hasn't looked sharp. Our most informed player is still Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro is still Casemiro. It's not. I don't trust him for the entire season because we still need a striker. Sorry, we still need a DM. Um, so yeah, that's my top four. So City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and United. And the reason why I didn't call Chelsea is because if they sign Osimhen next week or this week, then
No
maybe.
ifs. No ifs. Put yours. Make your predictions. No if anything.
maybe. All right, I've said it. City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United.
All right, Ovo.
You guys' prediction is boring, man. Let me give you guys a real prediction that's going to get you guys clicks. um, fourth place. Fourth place. Who would I give it to? To be honest, all you like West Ham, Aston Villa, Man U, Tottenham, Newcastle. All you guys are on the same level.
Why are you
So
grouping everybody like that?
I didn't add Chelsea, so relax.
Okay.
All of you are on the same level. So like it's just who is less, shitty. Uh, by the end of the season, that's going to get fourth. And I can't even back Aston Villa because the way they ended last season was Then Tottenham have the bottle gin. The thing is that God is always on Ten Hag's side, so maybe he might fraud top four. But I don't still believe in him. But I'll just give my United fourth place. But that is subject to change. Like I don't really believe in them like that. But let me just give it to them. Third, drum roll, please. Arsenal Football Club are finishing third. See, let me put you guys on some game. Arsenal, Arsenal are favorites to win the league, but I think they'll finish third. And that is just because I don't really have like a concrete reason. But I feel like last season, everything went in Arsenal's favor. They went out of the cup competitions early. They had no injuries. Liverpool and Man City had lots of injuries. They played easy Champions League fixtures, played a bang average Bayern Munich team, and still couldn't handle it. The times Arsenal dropped points last season was in the winter December period where they were playing games back to back to back to back to back. Remember, they couldn't beat is this Sports in the group stage that they lost to Aston Villa, they lost to West Ham, they lost to Fulham, they drew to Liverpool, they lost to Liverpool in the FA Cup. They couldn't handle that. And Arsenal's winning streak only began because they were only playing one game a week. When people were playing in the FA Cup and the League Cup final, all these things, they were just playing one game a week. And if you remember correctly, they drew to FC Porto in the first leg of the Champions League. That was their first back-to-back game in a long time, and they couldn't handle it. Then international break, then Bayern Munich. What happened during the Bayern Munich time? They lost to Bayern Munich and they lost to Aston Villa. Then they had a free ride in the end of the season and they won. I feel like Arsenal they just need fitness to actually maintain that style of football. Anytime they have like a congested fixture list, they struggle. And if I don't think they will bounce out of the cup competitions early on purpose. But if they move, advance further, I don't think they'll be able to maintain that intensity. That's just my opinion, and I hope I gave you guys like a logical, response because people are going to hear this and say, "Oh, this is just hate," but this is just, I think reasoning. You understand? There's a thought process to my conclusion. Second place is Man City. You cannot win 5 times in a row. This one is hate. Man City cannot win 5 times in a row. They will probably get that charges on them and send them back to the Champions League championship or something. Then first it's going to be Liverpool. We're going to shock the world. No signings, winning the Premier League, winning the Champions League. So if you vex us, so that's what we're going to do. So that's my prediction. That's my top four. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no one is even going to tell that Obo is a Liverpool fan. Like, there's no way you can tell from that unbiased prediction. All right, Nkem.
Just because you guys are my guys, I'm going to start from sixth. So Chelsea will finish sixth. Tottenham are going to finish fifth. United are going to finish fourth. Liverpool are going to finish third. Arsenal are going to finish second. City is going to finish first.
Thank you for being so nice to us. We appreciate
No,
it.
you guys are my guys. Your mental health is very important to me. So definitely.
All right. Reward.
Oh my god, you guys are so funny. First I'll go Arsenal. I don't know what Ovo is on. Arsenal will win the league. Second I'll go Liverpool. Third I'll go City. And fourth I'll go Chelsea, of course.
Okay. Thank you, Reward.
Reward, who will lift your fourth place trophy? I'm just thinking out of the 42 players.
Enzo.
Enzo Fernandez.
We'll be fine. Chooks is actually keeping track of all of this, like writing everybody's.
Please, Chooks, I said City stuff. What's how this was enter there, please? Please delete that rubbish.
Okay, let me try to be controversial.
Liverpool, City, Chelsea.
Yeah, Chooks, please correct your records. Nobody mentions Spurs as third. All right, let me try something different. I think in this moment to win the league, uh, Man City, boy, with their charges and the whole this thing, let me be different. So I'll say first Liverpool, right? Second City, third Arsenal, fourth Chelsea. That's my pick. And the slot has convinced me from what I've seen so far in preseason. I'm convinced you can do it.
Just get me Osimhen, that's all I ask.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right, guys. I think that's it for this one. Any final word, Reward?
I mean, we've waited so long for this. I'm glad football is back. So let's enjoy, guys.
All right, let's enjoy. Thank you everyone for sticking with me on this one. Staying up this late, depending on where you are. Let's have a fantastic week ahead, and we'll meet again next week. Take care.